So, I thought about it. We actually don't have a lot left to do in this game. I say that as if we don't still have, like, at least 20 more of these, because the only big things we have left to do are the Koroks and the DLC. So, two major things. Three, if you count the memories I have yet to do. And aside from those big things, we only have a handful of small things left to do, like the remaining map locations, upgrading the armors, and I'm sure some other small things that I'm not thinking of right now. But speaking of armors, that's what we're going to do today. We are going to collect the remaining armors, or whatever I'm allowed to do. So I looked into it, and I'm pretty sure, in-game at least, I am missing only two pieces. I saw a giant spitball come out just now. I am missing only two pieces of armor. I'm missing the Zora helm and I'm missing the Lionel mask. So let's go for it. The Zora helm, I can't believe I haven't gotten it till now, should be here at Total Lake, I'm pretty sure. Not really a lot of quick ways to get there, so we just got to get there. But yeah, there's not too many things left to do, quote unquote. We still just have the Koroks, the DLC, the memories. The remaining key items, that too, there's a handful of key items we need to get. Even though key items are worth jack shit in this game. But we still need to get them for completion's sake. We're still gonna get them. So yeah, we kinda are almost done with the game. Can you believe? Once again, almost done with the game as if we still don't have our gargantuan amount of things to do. All the Koroks. I'm going to do them. I will. Okay, so this morning I had one of the hardest dumps of my life. It was one of those dumps that made you contemplate life. It was that bad. And man, I felt off for the whole day because of it. So, after this morning, what I did was I tried to take some preventative measures to prevent this from happening again tomorrow. So, I took some fiber gummies, because yes, I have those. Gotta add a little bit of extra fiber every now and then. And then I also took some, some of those, what do you call it? It's like powdered, it's like a little packet of powder probiotic stuff. Like, it comes in a little bit of a powder tube, and you mix it with water and you drink it. I have a lot of issues back there, so that's why I have fiber gummies as well as little probiotic supplements. You know, my mom was actually suggesting that I look into buying some more probiotic stuff, just because the probiotic powder I have now, that I use now, is actually, I guess, imported from Hong Kong. My uncle actually buys it there and mails it to us, mails it to me. But yeah, there you go, the Zora helm. And because my mom wants me to not rely on that solely, she wanted me to look into what probiotic stuff exists here in Canada for us to just buy locally. So I looked into it and gonna have to make a choice. Gonna have to choose one to purchase and use. But yeah, I felt off all day today. So normally what happens when I wake up is I drink a big cup of water. I drink water in the morning to get my systems working, wake up the body, flush out anything from, the time of being asleep. So when I wake up, first thing I do is I drink a cup of water. And what I've started doing also is, while I drink the big cup of water, I also take a vitamin pill. Because my dad, he strongly urges that I take those, just for longevity's sake. I take vitamins now, it'll be beneficial for me when I'm older. And because I always forget to take them, I have the bottle now next to my... Well, not next to my bed, but in my room next to my table, where I usually have my cup of water, or my cup, ready for the morning, and then I pour water into that cup when I wake up, you know? So yeah, what I usually do is in the morning, I take a vitamin pill with my big cup of water, and I kind of figured, well, when I woke up today, oof, I did not feel good. It hurt like hell. And before I went to the bathroom and did what needed to be done, I figured I should probably drink that water and take the pill now. Oh, that made things worse. Because not only was I in pain this morning, but the feeling of being bloated with a lot of water inside of me, oh, it just made it worse. So there I was, sitting on the throne, evacuating my bowels. Oh, right, it's not nighttime. That's why Kilton's not here. But yeah. So there I was this morning. You know, getting ready to see God, perhaps. And it just made it worse because of all the... How bloated I felt with all that water in my stomach. Ooh, it was a rough time this morning. I'm sure you know what I mean. You ever get those stomach aches, stomach cramps that just make you contemplate life, question all your life choices? Now, I thought about it. I thought about what did I eat last night that could have possibly resulted in this. I had a steak, but, you know, what's wrong with that? It wasn't undercooked, it wasn't too overcooked, not like that would have been a problem. It was just, you know, pink in the middle, cooked, it was hot, you know, warm as well. It was like, not cold meat I was eating. And it seems like I was the only one who had the issue, so it couldn't have been that. And then I thought, what else did I eat last night? Well, last night I do remember snacking on some chips that, now looking back, maybe I shouldn't have. I was snacking on some Doritos chips, which, by the way, Doritos are my favorite chips. The regular, classic nacho cheese, those are my favorite chips. A real gamer answer, I know. Next thing you'll expect is me saying that my favorite drink is Mountain Dew. Oh, I have zero, that's right. But yeah, so I remember last night before dinner I was snacking on some Doritos chips because I was hungry and dinner wasn't ready yet, but those chips are quite old. They've been sitting on the counter for, I don't know, a month at least, maybe 2. Now, it's not like the bag was opened, it was folded and then there was a clip trying to prevent as much, you know, Jesus Christ. Oxidizing? There we go. No, these don't really serve any purpose. But I don't have enough. If I want 999, I gotta sell 333 of these. I'll sell 100 for now. Or exchange. How much do these give me? 2. I don't really need these, so I'll do 100 of these as well. So now I have 500. I need 499 more. Again, don't really need these. Wait, hold on a second. How much are these worth? 8. Well, if I sell... Yeah, this will give me 400, so I just need 99 more. What can I get for 99? I suppose I could do this. So sell just 33 of them. I don't know why I'm doing the exact number, but I'm doing it anyways. Alright, so now we should have every piece of armor in the game that you can collect natively in the game. Now, before I go and collect some more, I just want to... It'd probably be faster if I just warp there. I want to go see what I can upgrade first. So yeah, I was heavily munching on some pretty old Doritos chips. They weren't completely stale, but they weren't exactly the most crisp chips you would get fresh off the shelf. So I thought, ooh, maybe snacking on those months-old chips weren't the best idea. Well, lesson learned. I paid the price this morning, and so did my toilet. So I did feel off all day. I was cold, which I normally never get cold. At least that didn't last long. I wore a hoodie for a little bit during the day, but then... No, I just turned normal again, like my normal self who doesn't wear anything long sleeve unless it is like drastically cold. I also really wasn't that hungry or thirsty. I didn't really want to eat or drink anything. But I'm fine now. In fact, today I didn't even eat breakfast. Not because I wasn't really in the mood to, but because there was just nothing to eat. So I didn't eat anything until lunch, and even then I had a pretty small lunch too. I only had a couple bites. Dinner, I didn't really eat any, like, excessive amount to make up for it. I just ate the regular dinner's amount. Which, I guess it's fine. You know, I do have to drop some weight. Nope, just this. And not only was I just not really having much of an appetite for the rest of the day, I also was pretty gassy all day. Probably farted a hole in my underwear. No, I'm kidding. That's not happen. That didn't happen. That wasn't the case. But I'm just saying, like, damn, I was gassy all day. I don't know what was happening too. Oh, that's gonna use up all my hearty bass. Well, that's fine. That's why I have them. It's not like I'm ever gonna cook them for hearts. Look at that. We had just enough to be able to upgrade this completely. While we're here, I also want to see what else I can upgrade, like what I'm missing to upgrade. I know I'm missing like Lionel parts and electric Lizalfo's tails, so let's take a look. I also know what's coming up. I will need a ton of star fragments for, but we will get to that in a moment. I wish they would highlight which ones you still have yet to upgrade, like see? Okay, so I also need red Lizalfo's tails, a lot of them too. Okay, so it just seems like I need Lizalfo's tails in general. See? Oh, and the smother wings too. A lot of them to be exact. Stealth fin, well I know exactly where to get those. Swift violets, really? Okay, I know where I can buy those. Matter of fact, when I first played the game, I primarily bought them. Swift carrots, alright. Hightail lizards, wait, I don't have this upgraded at all. Wow. And then these ones don't typically get upgraded. Okay. So the swift carrots may take a while. Didn't I already collect them here? Oh, no, I didn't. No, that's an endure carrot. Okay. So for the swift violets, I usually come here to Zora's Domain to purchase. So we're gonna have to stay on top of this for the next little while until we get enough. I was about to change my armor, but no. If I'm about to go get a hightail lizard, I should probably keep this on. I know one place where it always spawns. So I'll go there in a second.
Hi.
I'll take them all. Even though that's, I think, just 4. Do you have Stealth Fin by chance? No, you don't. Okay, so something else I needed was... I just said it, Stealth Fin, so which one was it? I think it was this one. At least I think you get it here. Stealth Fin, Hightail Lizard, Smother Wings, that's it. I need to go and buy some Smother Wings. Let's see. The fish should be swimming around here somewhere, around this lake. I wish there was a way to, like, zoom out the camera. Just a little bit. Because just like this, it's kind of hard to see. Oh, there they are. What was I talking about? They're hard to see. They're so obvious now that they've spawned in. They look more blue when you pick them up. But here they actually look like they're almost glowing. What was that? Hold on, I saw that sparkle there. What is that? Is that an arrow? No, that's a Korok leaf. I don't want that. Why would you put that in the water anyways? I can't use Cryonis. I can't use Magnesis to pick it up. And this ain't Tears of the Kingdom. I can't use Ultra Hand. I would have to drop a weapon and then jump in to pick it up. Okay, so there's the Stealth Fins. I think... Was it here? Or... It was one of the stables near Death Mountain that Beetle sells Smother Wings. Because they are hard to find. So I'd rather just go to Beetle and buy them off of him. Oh, Beetle! He might be asleep.
Wow.
I don't remember if Beetle sells lizards too. Oh, he does! I'll take them.
Wow.
Nope, wait. Oh no, that's all you have here. Okay, so it's not this stable. But you know what? It's okay, because I got those. So let's see. Was it this stable? See, the trip wasn't wasted, because I still got lizards out of it. Archery tip. I almost said trip. Draw your bowstring while jumping from a high place to briefly slow down time so that you can aim with greater accuracy. Ah, yes. People were saying if Link got himself a secret stone, it would amplify his time manipulation abilities. Damn, you got here fast. Got here faster than me. Are you... Aw, man! I didn't mean to do that. Fine, whatever. There they are. These are what I'm looking for. And hey, I'll take the swift carrots too. Nope. I keep spamming B to get out of this.
Wow.
Okay, so we gotta remember that. It was the Oculus stable. And I did say that there is a place where I know for certain a lizard spawns. Watch I go there and it doesn't spawn. Wait, was I even missing Lionel parts when I checked? Well, we're gonna have to check it again later anyways. But for now, if we come over here, I almost went to my house. Right there. There's one that spawns here all the time. Now that we've gotten everything that comes to mind, I gotta wait for everything to respawn again. You know what, I didn't want to do it here anyways. Okay, so we got all of the armors that are available in the game. But there are a couple of amiibo armors I want to get. So I have with me the 4 champion amiibos because they all have their exclusive items. And there's also a ton of Link armor sets you get from the amiibos. Each amiibo gives you a different outfit, a different Link war. Now, had Nintendo been smart and actually allowed you to have every piece of armor in-game all at once, then I would have gotten them all. However, with the addition of the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Rex outfit, there isn't enough room for all the outfits in the game, both native to the game and amiibo armors. So you have to pick and choose. In the past, I've done my very first playthrough, because I believe this game, well, actually, as time went on, now I kind of don't want to believe it. So, when this game first came out, we still don't know which timeline it goes under, by the way. When this game first came out, I wanted to believe that... Actually, I should save with the amiibo here. When this game first came out, I wanted to believe that it took place in the child timeline. However, now that so many years has passed, I sadly feel like, it leans more towards the downfall timeline. And I really don't like that. I really don't think it takes place in the adult timeline. So, the adult timeline is like my last option out of the 3 I feel like it takes place in. So I really would like it to take place in the child timeline, but evidence points more towards the downfall timeline, which I really don't like. Why? Because it kind of seems like Nintendo heavily favors the downfall timeline. Think about it. Child timeline only has Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Four Swords Adventures. Adult timeline has Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. And then you look at the enormous list that takes place in the Downfall timeline. It's like, it seems like Nintendo really loves the Downfall timeline because they keep on adding games to that timeline, but not the other 2. They haven't added any game entries that take place in the child or adult timeline in a very long time. But to this day, they still add games that take place in the Downfall timeline. So, yeah, sadly, I kind of lean towards this game taking place in the Downfall. Now, why do I say this? Well, each time I play this game, I kind of base it off of what timeline I believe they take place in. So, the child timeline, I would get amiibo armors that make sense to take place in the child timeline. Same thing for Downfall timeline, same thing for the adult timeline. So I should explain my reasoning for this, for the armors I'm gonna get this time. This time, I'm only going to use 2 amiibos. I am not going to do any armor that take place in any specific timeline. So there will be no... Whoops, wrong button. There will be no armors that canonically... Oops, I was using the wrong amiibo there. There will be no armors that should canonically have been worn by a Link in the child, adult, or Downfall timeline. So the amiibo armors I'm choosing to do this time will only be the Skyward Sword amiibo and the Wind Waker amiibo. Now, let me explain why I chose the Wind Waker amiibo. If you take a look at the timeline, what games take place in the beginning of the timeline before the three branches? Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords, and Ocarina of Time. If you look at Link's design from Minish Cap and Four Swords, it's the exact same design as Wind Waker Link. So ignoring Wind Waker Link's outfit saying Tunic of the Wind, Hat of the Wind, etc., ignoring the description of the armor, the look, the design is the exact same as the Link in Minish Cap and Four Swords. So that's why I'm choosing, for this playthrough, only to have Skyward Sword Link, that outfit, because Skyward Sword is canon regardless. It's the very first game in the timeline. It's canon regardless. And that's also why I decided to have Wind Waker Link here. Ignoring the description, the design is the exact same as Minish Cap and Four Swords. Yes, you can make the argument it's also the same as Four Swords Adventures, which is in the child timeline, but I'm not going to get too specific. So that is why this time I've chosen to only have amiibo armors from before the timeline branch. So it has to be in this timeline. These armors, these outfits, their designs has to have taken place, has to have existed in this timeline's past at some point. At the very beginning, I should say. So that's why this time there is no Ocarina of Time Link, because canonically that outfit for Adult Link took place in the adult timeline. There's no Fierce Deity, because that was in Majora's Mask in the child timeline. No Twilight Princess, that was in the child timeline. No Tunic of the Hero, that was in the Downfall timeline. So specifically, only in the timeline before it branched out. No Sheik's mask either, because Sheik was a character in the adult timeline. Sheik didn't exist in the child timeline. Because remember, canonically, at the end of Ocarina of Time, and what's canon in the child timeline is none of the events of the adult section in the game took place. What happened was Link found all three spiritual stones. He found the Master Sword, but then, after the events of the game, he went back in time and he spoke with Zelda, warning her about Ganondorf and what happens in the future. I can't remember in the child timeline if canonically he even found the three spiritual stones. I think he did. So that's what's canon. Child timeline, only thing from Ocarina of Time that is canon is he left Kakariko. He left Kokiri Forest, found the three spiritual stones, and then warned Zelda. But now I'm not even too sure, because he went back in time to before he found the spiritual stones, didn't he? Because Zelda was still in the courtyard spying on Ganondorf, speaking to the king. Anyway, so yeah, that's why this time I have decided, if I can even get the frickin' armors, because this Urbosa amiibo doesn't want to give me the armor. That's why, this time, nothing from the amiibos that would suggest any sort of timeline. Even though Tears of the Kingdom kind of fucks that up, because in-game you can find all of the amiibo armors, making them canon and existing in-world somehow. I'm not gonna take account Tears of the Kingdom for this. I'm just gonna focus on Breath of the Wild and which timeline this takes place in. I really hate the converged or merged together timeline theory. All three timelines at some point merged together and formed the timeline, formed the past for Breath of the Wild. I really hate that idea because it makes no sense. The timeline branching kind of makes sense, but the timelines fusing together kind of doesn't. What the hell? Where'd that come from? Finally! Well, I wish I could have got my hands on that lizard too. Okay, now we save the game. And do the process over with the next amiibo. But yeah, the timelines merging together just doesn't really make sense, because being quote-unquote present right now, you can look to the past and it would make sense. You know, in this game you find aspects of Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, other games that were in the past. So here, during this game, you could look back and find evidence for all the timelines merged together. But at the time of when the old games take place, it wouldn't make sense, because then the timelines would be altered. Instead of each Link going on their own adventure, well, suddenly Hyrule would have merged with other timelines, thus screwing everything up. If the timelines merged, there could have been two Links that exist at the same time from separate timelines. And need I point out that if the timelines merged, then say around the time of Twilight Princess, that Link is going around Hyrule, taking on the Twilight, and then Hyrule floods because it merged with the Hyrule that has flooded. So it would alter the past if the timelines were to merge. So I find that so stupid. I like the idea better that Breath of the Wild, and by extension Tears of the Kingdom, is the inevitable outcome for all timelines. No matter what timeline, they all lead to Breath of the Wild. So in this past, in this game's past, it could be Child Timeline, could be Adult Timeline, or Downfall. It could be any or even all of them. You choose. Although, wouldn't that kind of suggest there be 6 timelines? What do I mean by that? So, we know about the 3 timelines. Child, Adult, and Downfall. We know about the 3 timelines, and they all branched off from Ocarina of Time. Technically, there should be 2 canon timelines, because the Downfall is more of a what if. It doesn't actually happen. It shouldn't actually happen. It's just a what if Link lost against Ganon, and then the Downfall timeline happens. But for the sake of argument, let's say the Nexus event happens. 3 timelines exist parallel, and they all inevitably lead to Breath of the Wild. Well, you know what happens in Breath of the Wild? Terraco branches off, so Age of Calamity. So if 3 timelines inevitably wind up in the same place, that means in all 3 timelines, there is a Terraco that goes back in time, changes things, and thus causes another branch. So there would be 6 branches. 6 timelines, I should say, not branches. There should be 6 timelines, no? And who knows about Age of Imprisonment, because I still haven't played that game yet. So yeah, shouldn't there be 6 timelines if we are to believe that Breath of the Wild is the inevitable outcome for all timelines? Or am I just a Zelda nerd overthinking things? All of this is a long, bloated discussion on, my thoughts on the timeline placement. You know what else I feel like the Downfall timeline is, besides being Nintendo's favorite and being a what-if timeline? It kind of feels like the dumpster ground for the Zelda games. As in, like, majority of games that kind of just swept into the Downfall timeline and just said, alright, takes place here. Don't think too much of it. I mean, you could make the argument for Minish Cap and Four Swords, since, yeah, those don't really matter if you play them at the beginning of the timeline. But I just couldn't help but notice that as the franchise became bigger, the games got bigger, they moved towards 3D, those became their own timelines, their own, events that took place concurrently. And then the Downfall timeline, they kind of just shoveled in all of the 2D games, or most of the 2D games, and just called it a timeline. We have A Link to the Past, the Oracle games, Link Between Worlds was 3D. But that was very explicitly, just like a borderline sequel, kinda, to Link to the Past. Zelda 1 and 2, those take place at the end of the Downfall timeline. So I couldn't help but feel like the Downfall timeline kind of is just like a sweeping ground for all of the older Zelda games. Like, they just put it into that timeline and just called it a day. Because the 3D games kind of spell out a more clear timeline of events. Skyward Sword is first. There's no arguing against that. Ocarina of Time kind of did branch off between child and adult. Wind Waker very clearly takes place right after Ocarina of Time, after the adult set of events. While Majora's Mask follows Kid Link, so there's no arguing there. So we have 2 borderline sequels to Ocarina of Time, and then those games themselves got games that continue on with the timeline, I guess. I can't say continue with the story. Phantom Hourglass is a direct continuation, kinda, for Wind Waker, and thus Spirit Tracks as well. Twilight Princess kinda somewhat hints towards things that happen in the child timeline. And then Four Swords Adventures is kind of just there for some reason. So I couldn't help but notice that, yeah, as the series grew, the 3D games got more fleshed out, like having proper timeline placements that actually make sense. But then the older 2D games just kind of got half-assed, stitched together, and just had a Downfall timeline label slapped onto it. Or am I just being a dumbass? I mean, ever since then, they did introduce a couple of 3D games that do take place in the Downfall timeline. And that's my point, too. They introduce A Link Between Worlds. They introduce Echoes of Wisdom. Like, they haven't added a new game into the child or adult timeline in a very long time. Twilight Princess, came out in 2006, didn't it? That was almost 20 years ago. And I think that was the last game in the child timeline. Because I think Four Swords Adventures came out before that. And I don't remember what year Spirit Tracks came out. Was that in like 2009? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, 2009. That was over 15 years ago. But the Downfall timeline, ooh, they showing that timeline a lot of love. Link Between Worlds, Echoes of Wisdom. You know, aside from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Age of Calamity, Age of Imprisonment, like doing this iteration of Zelda, the other Zelda games all go into the Downfall timeline. Like, what the hell? There's no love for child or adult timeline. I mean, if you thought that was ludicrous, think about how long it's been since the magic meter returned. I think Wind Waker was the last time the magic meter was in Zelda. The closest we've ever gotten to having the magic meter back in Zelda would be in Tears of the Kingdom. The battery. That kinda is the magic meter back, just modern, I guess. I would love to see more out of Zelda instead of just the games getting grander. You know, I would actually love to see more storytelling, kind of like how Skyward Sword focused on storytelling. And not be as vague as they always are. I would actually like a little bit of answers to some of the mysteries we have in the series. That would be nice. If we got answers every now and then, that'd be nice. Like, I understand the fun of theorizing, but... Oh, finally. I understand the fun of theorizing, but I also, you know, feel like it gets to a point where it just kind of becomes frustrating. Like, there's so many questions, yet no answers. You can give us the answer to some of those mysteries, you know, Nintendo? You could give us some things to have confirmation on. I mean, they did give us the Zonai after, like, 6 years of theorizing. But, if anything, that kind of added more questions than answers. Oh, nice. We were compensated with how long the Varuda helm took. Okay, we have 2 more to do, that being the Skyward Sword and Wind Waker amiibos, because we're only allowed to scan the amiibos once per day. So I'm not going to be able to get all 3 pieces of the armor right away. Unless I change around the Switch time and date, but I don't want to do that. Oh, wow, a silver rupee. Very nice. Okay, so that's 1 of 3 for the Skyward Sword set. Now the Wind Waker, I mean, the Minish Cap set. I don't care about any of the weapons you get from the amiibos. I don't care about those. So I just want the armors. I also kind of wish that the 3D Zelda games, they, quote-unquote, reference other 3D Zelda games very vaguely, very cryptically, but they still reference the other games nonetheless. I wish they would reference the 2D games. Like, you never see in a 3D game reference Minish Cap. Then again, you know, the timeline was established after. But still, now that we have an established timeline, albeit messy, but still established, we don't get games that reference that kind of stuff. We don't really get games that reference the 2D games. There actually was plans for, I think, Tears of the Kingdom to reference Minish Cap and the Picori, or the Minish, but that was scrapped. So we don't really ever see the 2D games get referenced. They kind of just exist, and they kind of just exist, and that's it. No hints of their events existing in games that take place after, besides just trust me, bro, they do. I mean, we do have games that blatantly reference previous games. And by previous, I mean the games that take place directly before it. Why did I even pick up that cricket? I was just going to reload the file anyways. Like, obviously, Majora's Mask references Ocarina of Time, somewhat. Obviously, Phantom Hourglass references Wind Waker. Still, I wish the Zelda series could be a little more clear. You know, could be a little more connected. Just a little bit more, you know? I still like the idea that each Zelda game is their own standalone project, where you don't need to play any prior games to have background knowledge to understand what happens in this game, because the Zelda team absolutely is fixated on that. Like, think about it. You don't need to play Ocarina of Time to understand what happens in Majora's Mask. You don't need to play Wind Waker to play Phantom Hourglass. You don't need to play Breath of the Wild to play Tears of the Kingdom. You want to know what I feel like the timeline is like now that we have Tears of the Kingdom? And I guess Age of Imprisonment 2, but I haven't played that game yet, so I can't say for certain. Ever since playing Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like the flashbacks with Zelda take place after Skyward Sword, but before Minish Cap. And I don't feel like that's a hot take. So that would mean the events of Skyward Sword happened, the surface gets repopulated, but then, at some point, Rauru and the Zonai descend from the heavens. Rauru becomes the first king of Hyrule, and then Ganondorf, yada yada yada, he gets imprisoned. 10,000 years later, while Ganondorf is imprisoned, all the other events of the Zelda games take place. So, would that mean there are 2 Ganondorfs? Yes! While one is MIA and out of commission deep underground, well, the Curse of Demise kind of gave the world another Ganondorf. Because why the hell wouldn't it, I suppose? That would also mean, yes, there are 2 Zeldas, because one is the Dragon of Light, the Light Dragon in the sky, and there's also 2 Master Swords. Yes. Yes. All of that, yes. Like, it's a whole time loop thing, right? It's an endless time loop, too. So after Skyward Sword, the events of Tears of the Kingdom's flashbacks and memories take place, or you could also say Age of Imprisonment. So it would kind of go, I suppose, Skyward Sword, Age of Imprisonment, Minish Cap, and then the rest. So now that I have pretty much all of the armors in the game, besides the rest of the sets for this and this, we're gonna have to go and collect some materials to use to upgrade. Well, I need more smother wings. A lot more. A lot more. Please don't need me to collect more carrots. Okay, mushrooms. Gonna need to take some time to get those. And this is where... Wait, don't these need star fragments? Because I know the Zelda ones, the Link ones do. And that's why we are going to need to collect star fragments at some point. Because there's 3 for each, so that's 6. But then each one needs 4 star fragments. So 6 times 4, that's 24. 6, 12, 18, 24. We need 24 star fragments to upgrade both the Skyward Sword set and the, you know, Minish Cap / 4 Swords set. So yeah, get ready to grind for a ton of star fragments. And I will do all of it on screen. I will not get a single one off screen. Oh, the ancient cores as well. So I'll upgrade those after. Oh, one more. So I say we don't have too much left to do, but then again, we still have to gather all of the armor upgrading materials, the Koroks, the DLC. If you look at the number of things left to do, spelled out in a list, there's not that many left, but that's only on paper. And upon execution, there is a ton more to do. Because we still have, what, 700 plus Koroks out there to find? 700? And I won't get them all. Wait, no. I already upgraded that one, so I should be fair and upgrade this one once. Okay, let me also check. What else do I still need now? Besides what we checked earlier. Red Lizalfo's tails. So basically just Lizalfo's tails in general. Because I also need yellow. Smother wings, yep. Damn, we need a lot of stealth fins too. We need 30 of them, and I have 8. So I still need 22 of them. And we only got, what, 4 just now? Mushrooms and more lizards. Great. Star fragments, of course, a crap ton of them, and ancient cores too. We have a lot of work cut out for us. Well, before I end, I would like to go to one spot that guarantee has something I could pick up. I think. Put on my sand boots, and what time of day is it? It's the morning, so it's not too cold or too hot just yet. You remember MatPat's game theory on which timeline this takes place in? And he kind of proposed that the biggest piece of evidence is the Tunic of the Wild. How Link's hat has a yellow band around it. And I kind of feel like, yeah, that kind of is pretty damning evidence, because the green tunic of this game resembles that of Downfall timeline tunics the most. Not just a yellow band around the hat. What? I heard the rupee fly off. Where is it? I heard the money. Oh, there it is. It was just one. You, I need your tail. I think that was probably too many hits. And I don't need to fight off the rest of you, but I will. Oh, look, there's a red rupee over there. Don't hit that. Oh. Oh, come on! Well, that was honestly kind of a waste of time. I only got one tail from that. You know, one contributing item that I needed. Let me go and see if that was enough time for all of the items to respawn. It may not be, but let's go check. Where is he? Where's the myth? Wait, the man, the myth, the legend. There he is.
Yeah.
Continuing the ride even in the rain, I see. It's so annoying that you have to go through this all the time. Okay, no, it's still sold out. So that should mean that everything else hasn't respawned yet. Okay. So, next time... I have to think. Next time do we go around collecting the items we need? We're gonna do that regardless, but the question is... will we do that for, say, the Lizalfos tails, or will we grind for the... well, we're grinding for the star fragments next. Just get that out of the way. You know what? Let's go and, because I never do this, at least not really during this, pick up the apples. Yeah, let's do that. Anything underneath that one? Yes! How worth it was to pick that up. Pick up the rock, I mean. Okay, well, I'm about to end this. So, I will see you guys next time with whatever I decide to do. I don't know, maybe I'll do the star fragments next time? We'll see. Well, see you guys next time.